The first one is that when it comes to leadership, there's usually two overreactions or two dangers. Okay, and I think even though the Apostle Paul doesn't specifically mention that, but I think hopefully that you'll see that by the things that he says, hey, leaders should do this or not do this, that he's really kind of getting at these dangers of overleading and underleading. All right? So overleading is you have a spiritual leader seeking personal control rather than someone's growth. Right? This leads to spiritual abuse, religious bullying. All right? And it happens because leaders struggle in believing their God-given identity of who Christ says they are. Right? They struggle with believing that God is gracious and that God is sovereign. One of my mentors told me, he said, a sign of a leader that has had a living encounter with God, which is what you want, a leader to have a living encounter with God. He says a sign that someone has encountered the living God is they walk with a limp and not a strut. Right? Someone who's walking with a limp, someone who's walking in humility, is not going to seek personal control over someone's personal spiritual growth. Right? So that's overleading. Of course, there's underleading. And underleading is you have a spiritual leader seeking personal comfort rather than people's growth. Right? What does that look like? It means that they don't want to use the voice of correction. All right? They avoid hard conversations, or they avoid bringing up topics that probably will be uncomfortable for people. And I don't know. I just want people to be comfortable. I just want to keep the sense of peace. I don't want to bring up hot topics because it's going to be disruptive. And so they don't. They don't. And if other people try to say, hey, no, we're not going to talk about that. Of course, you probably can see why leaders struggle with this, because who wants to get rejected, right? And also, if you use the voice of correction, if you bring up issues that make people uncomfortable, what normally happens? Well, people can say, you know what, I was serving, but now I'm going to pull back. I was giving, but now I'm not going to give as much, or they won't give at all, or people could actually leave a local church by leaders embracing their God-given responsibility to lead, but maybe they want, no, I just want personal comfort. I wonder, as you look at yourself, because remember, all of us have influence at some level. Do you have a tendency to overlead or to underlead? To overly influence or underly influence? People of FBC, good spiritual leaders put people's spiritual growth and eternal destiny before their present comfort. And they're not afraid to point out if one is living or not, or they are believing in a distorted message.